This is so you were on the sidelines for Duke and Clemson, and we're going to have to break this down, Luke, because Matt Schick, your colleague at ESPN, posted this on Twitter, and this video is glorious. So we'll start for the people listening in podcast form. You're just we'll narrate for you, but I wish I had a telestrator. Let's put it that way. So what we've got Luke standing in front of the entire Duke student section as they're about to run on the field. Clock hits 0. Luke is right now. He has to interview Mike Elko. Pushes one dude out of the way. He's got security behind him. Goes to the studio, goes to the guys in the booth. He's pushing players. He's here. He's at Mike Elko. Somebody's coming. Okay. I missed the get off me. There's a great get off me right before you get to Elko.
So a couple of things on that. First of all, we got to start with the Duke students, right, Andy?
Yeah.
When have you ever seen a potential field storm, all right, where with 2 minutes left in the game, they actually let the students on the field and not one of them leaves the sideline? Like, it was the most well-behaved group. And listen, I know nobody there has gotten less than a 1,400 on the SAT, right? So, but think about that. There were 3,000 students, and not one of them tried to get wily and just run out on the field while the game was still going on. It was amazing. Like, I have such respect for how polite they all were. So
yeah, I can vouch for the people who were students at the University of Florida when I was. That never would have happened.
No,
they would have been gone. They'd have been zip tied, trussed up like pigs before
and it wasn't
they ever
like
got
there
to
was
leave the stadium.
It wasn't like there was a bunch of crowd control. By the way, all the people that you see in yellow vests there, that's actually Duke's TV, video, and audio operations. They're not crowd control. They're not security. Wow. All of those people were holding cameras throughout the day and drawing cable down the line, like the whole 9 yards. So we're sitting there, and there's about 2 minutes left, and we're kind of discussing the strategy because, generally when you do that interview, your handheld camera that's on the sideline with you is getting the shot. Well, That camera is not wireless. And it's got about 500 feet of cable that's about that thick, and there's somebody that's like reeling it out and reeling it in. Well, there's no way from a safety perspective that camera guy would be able to get there without getting yanked and have, it's dangerous, right?
Yep.
So I charge the field. A couple of different things happen. And generally, I'm really good on the angle side of it, like what angle I should take. Because my assumption here is that Mike Elko, when the thing goes 0, this is where I was wrong. When the thing goes 0, generally what happens, right? The players come up and hug you. An assistant coach hugs you. Maybe you get a Gatorade bath. Yeah, you're shaking a couple hands. He doesn't do that. He bolts. Like, he runs to meet up with Dabo Swinney. So I take a horrible angle. If this was a tackling drill, I'd be off scholarship. I take a horrible angle, and then I have to stop for a second. You see me, and I pop my head up a little bit, and I see where he's at. And that's when I took the hard left, and I didn't care if you were in a uniform. I didn't care if you were a male, female, dog, cat. I didn't care if you were a student, a coach. I was going to blast through there, right? So then, Andy, and you've worn enough earpieces in your career, I get there. And you have this thing called an IFB. It's an earpiece where we can hear the production and everything of the game. And it's got a cable that's tied to the back of your collar, and it goes and it hooks into this little radio that's on your waist. Well, somehow going through all of that, it gets popped out. So when I arrive at Elko, I can't hear the broadcast. It's dead air. I can't hear the producer. I can't hear Dave. I can't hear Dusty. Nothing. It's blank. So now I'm going, okay, we got a problem. Because I don't know what camera we're using to take the interview because we knew we weren't going to use the handheld. And now I can't hear production. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking down. And I look down at my right leg. And the cable had popped out here, was still plugged into my waist, and it's dangling like I had a tail. So it's down below my knee. I go down and I reach down and I grab it, pop it back in. And right as I pop it back in, I hear Dave go, Lugs, are you there, buddy? Do we have you? Do you got Coach Elko? And off we went.
Wow. That is a 5-star performance from a guy who evaluates recruits for a living. Holy crap. Yeah, that would terrify me because you're hearing the broadcast, and all of a sudden you get where you need to go and it's nothing.
Well, and especially when they're throwing to me, like I have to hear them say down to Tom or Luke's has got Coach Elko.
Right.
I had none of that. So, and our production did a great job of just showing shots and scenes and the crowd and this and that, knowing that they, we call it stretch in the business. And our producer, I guarantee, is telling Dave, "Hey, Dave, I don't have lubes yet. You got to stretch. You got to stretch. You got to lay out, stretch. Give them time to do this and that." So it was funny. I didn't know it would be what it was when Matt Schick posted it. But the funny part about the whole thing is, I was in cowboy boots. I wasn't in tennis shoes. Yeah, I was in black Cayman alligator cowboy boots.
Are we reconsidering our footwear choices? Because like Cole Kubelik, he's a sneakerhead. He's always wearing sneakers on the sideline.
Yeah, but I'm always wearing boots everywhere I go. I don't own a pair of dress shoes. And so in the 10 years, this is my 10th year on the field as a field analyst, I've worn boots every single game I've ever been on the field. And this time, because of all the craziness, I got back to the hotel room and my white field paint all over them. Like I got to clean them all up now.
Well, it's a hell of a story to tell. Thank you so much for watching. Just a reminder, subscribe to this channel right here so you never miss an episode of Andy Staples on 3. And oh, by the way, watch all the other great videos on the On3 Sports YouTube channel.